Charles Broadway, currently the Chief of Police for the Clermont Police Department. During 9/11, I was a detective with the New York City Police Department. I worked the evening before, and the morning of September 11, 2001, I was woken up by a phone call. The desk officer says, "Chuck, you have to come back to work because a plane just crashed into the World Trade Center." At that point in time, in disbelief, I turned my TV on and just could not believe what I saw. Got dressed, lived on Long Island at the time, started to head into work into Brooklyn, which was where my command was. I remember fighting through traffic. I remember having to show my ID to get through traffic to an officer to let me into the city. On that first day, I was on the Brooklyn side of the Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge is what brings you from Brooklyn into Manhattan, just total mayhem. People wanting to leave the city to get out of harm's way, people wanting to get to the city to see if their loved ones were still alive. Phone towers were down, people could not contact their loved ones. And while directing traffic on the Brooklyn side of the Brooklyn Bridge, I remember this young man pulling up on a motorcycle, stops his motorcycle with a photograph of his wife and says, "Officer, officer, have you seen my wife?" And at that point in time, I just felt hopeless and answered him, "Sorry, I did not see your wife." And days after that, I was assigned to Ground Zero, just involved in a search and rescue efforts, which sadly turned into search and recovery efforts, where we just collected debris, as well as human remains, just saw things that no one should ever have to see. From there, I was assigned to a landfill in Staten Island, where they were bringing tons and tons of debris from Ground Zero, World Trade Center, and we were just sifting through debris, looking for items to collect, as well as to give back to loved ones or families of that lost loved ones that day. I also had several visits to the morgue where we were identifying human remains and personnel that were lost that day. Had a huge impact on my family. So I remember coming home smelling like soot, dust all over my clothes and uniforms. We were concerned about the toxins in the air and things that we were inhaling, so I was sure to keep my clothes that I wore separate and wash them separate as well. Very emotional time. Everyone's watching the news and seeing the devastation. Family was very worried about my own safety as I was there involved in the search and rescue efforts, because a lot of the buildings were compromised there, so a lot of our inspectors were concerned of other buildings collapsing while we were there working. Again, it was just a very challenging time for our nation to deal with terrorist attacks on U.S. soil and the devastation and the hatred that these terrorists caused. One of my most memorable moments of being involved in September 11, 2001, and days and weeks, months after, was seeing people come together. I saw such unity. I saw people putting their differences aside, people of all different colors, races, backgrounds, different professions and careers, truly coming together to help bring resolve to a horrific situation. Again, political party affiliation didn't matter. Social status, economic status, it did not matter. People truly came together to help one another, to care for one another, show compassion for one another, and truly work together as a unified front to help bring resolve to a horrific and tragic situation. If I could tell the American people one thing, the first is that we are blessed to live in the greatest nation in the world, where we can exercise and enjoy various different freedoms and rights and life and liberty. I would also tell the American people that your first responders are true heroes, men and women that truly join this profession to serve and to protect, to put their lives on the line for others. Those officers, first responders that rushed into those buildings that day were uncertain about their own lives. But they did that because they joined this profession for the greater good, to serve and to protect, and they are true heroes. Well, thank you all for attending this event, and thank you for all the organizers, and thank you for everyone that's involved in this event. Again, it is truly an honor and a blessing to live in the greatest nation in the world. Our first responders, police, firefighters, EMS, our military personnel, they are true heroes. Thank you for putting your lives on the line to serve and to protect your respective communities. And to our community, we thank you for your support for your first responders. Again, they joined this profession for the greater good and truly to serve and to protect. Thank you. God bless you all, and God bless America. Chief Broadway, Chief of Police for the Clermont Police Department, and this is my story.